as we are in a crucial topic, that especially these 15 steps of nitidhyasanam are being talked, that we have completed with samadhi, where we discussed very carefully that when a person, this is the difference between yoga samadhi and Vedantic samadhi, because as you have seen in Yoga Sutra and other texts, whether it is savikalpaka or nirvikalpaka, here being aware of Brahman all the time, and that too effortlessly. That means knowing the Vastu, the reality, at any given experience. Simple logic, like a goldsmith, seeing all ornament while transacting, selling or buying all sort of ornament, is aware of the gold, the Vastu, the reality. And when that happens effortlessly, and that is what is called Brahmakāṛa-vritti. A person does not have to put effort. It's simple way to look at, like all of us have been given a name. Our parents, our guru, our friends also, they give their nickname, all these things, you know better. Because people call you in a given name, do you have any doubt about your name? Even if you are sleeping, somebody calls you, or maybe somebody is calling some other person in your name, okay? What happens to you? How you respond? Spontaneously, continuously, effortlessly. I am using these three words. So also Brahmakāṛa-vritti must be that effortlessly, that continuously. That's why if we go back our other aspect, in fact that is what we called as nirvikalpaka samadhi as per Vedanta. So that's why we say, if a person is focusing or struggling for yoga and kṣama, where this Brahmakāṛa-vritti will come? It will come what? Brahmakāra, not Brahmakāra, okay? So Brahma Akara, the Akara will be Brahma, means delusion. Remember this, okay? That's why we have talked in details. Why a person to be religious to come to Vedanta? Because if I am not a religious person, please understand, Vedanta will become what? Devanta. Correct? So what is Devanta? So in the name of Vedanta, there is no God. I don't have to do anything. So Anta means end of all devatas, all the gods. Very convenient. And that we call as New Age Vedanta. That's why when we look at this nitidhyasanam, which we have talked in details, that the person must do shravanam. Because if I don't do shravanam, even though in shravanam, mananam and nitidhyasanam included, Still, because of lack of preparedness of my mind, I can take up mananam and nitidhyasanam separately. But remember, it is included. For manda madhyamadhikarinam, only for them, this mananam and nitidhyasanam are being done separately. But if I have not done shravanam at all, like I remember when we were studying, after the class, there will be big queue and demand for the tape. Okay, because Swamiji, when those days, so there will be tape recorder and it will be recorded so that everybody will go there in the books and tape. Look, we want the tape to listen to. A tape recorder does better Shravanam than us, okay? But it does the tape learns anything? You understand? Because the tape recorder job is to register. Same thing also, if I do Shravanam for different purpose, that is not Shravanam at all. Let me not get into too much. So, here he says, look, this 15 steps, unlike 8 angas of Yoga Sutra or Yoga Shastra, this is to be continued. And how long to be continued? Let us read. There is some difference in this book, okay? Okay, fine. Evañcākṛtrimānandaṁ tāvat sādhu samabhyaset Vaśyo yāvat kṣaṇāt puṁsaḥ prayuktaḥ san bhavet svayam. So there are two difference I am seeing it here. Somewhere is ayam, here is evam. Let us see, both are okay. So that's why little difference are there, doesn't matter. So he says, look, tāvat samabhyaset. That means what? That long one is supposed to do this practice, not ordinary practice. He uses what? Samyak rupe, samabhyaset, not ordinary abhyasam. Very well, where many other factors are involved. As you know, even though popular statement is there, what? Practice makes a person perfect. If practice makes a perfect, that means what? Everybody should be perfect. Who is not practicing? Remember, practice makes everything easy, but practice never makes perfect. It's like you are practicing walking all the time in a given road. That road, that terrain becomes easy for you, but it doesn't make you perfect person, okay? And moreover, practice also does not teach anything. If we learn something from practice, we will not repeat it either. It is the knowledge that we gain from practice makes you perfect. Be very careful. The knowledge that we gain out of practice, that makes me perfect, not the practice by itself. Because many people talk, oh, ounce of practice is better than this, that, all these are very fascinating word to wake up somebody. But in reality, it doesn't communicate anything. Remember this. So, tāvat, that long, samabhyaset. That long one may practice well because there are many other factors involved that we have seen. And how he says, sādhu, that too carefully. So the word sadhu has got different meaning in different context. Here we need to do this sort of practice to be done carefully, because he is going to talk why it is to be done carefully. Lot of things also is going to talk. What are the obstacles there? We'll see in details. And this ayam akṛtrimānandaṁ. So when the person now starts practicing ayam, this contemplation, this nididhyasanam, ayam nididhyasanam, what happens? So the person, let us say, stumble upon. It's exact word is stumbling upon. You hit, you come across anandam, that which is akṛtrimā. So the anandam that we come across in our day-to-day life, or instead of coming across, we chase for, we go for, we work for, all sort of anandam, that is kṛtrimā. Kṛtrimā means that is created. Manusya krutya. So created by, not manusya, you can say jiva krutya, that is better word, okay? So created by individuals. But here he uses this word, akṛtrimānandaṁ iti. So the anandam, that which is akṛtrimā, means which is natural, not created. Because that's why we say this samadhi that Yoga Shastra talks, whether it is savikalpaka or nivirkalpaka samadhi, there you look for experience. And when you look for experience, now experience gives you anandam. Now is it created anandam or natural anandam? Simple logic. So as long as I am in samadhi, I am in bliss. I can use the word here, bliss, okay? Comfortably, not happiness. Perfect. Because it's created. The moment I am out of samadhi, what happens to me? Again, I am back. That does not mean that you should not do samadhi. Please, it's worth going through in life, okay? At least once. I'll suggest once at least one should go through nirvikalpaka samadhi. It's amazing. And especially once a person goes through nirvikalpa samadhi once, will have complete, control over the mind. And later on, if any problem happens, you can recall yourself just like that instantly, which is a really nice, worth doing it. But we say, do it, but that is not ultimate. This is the point to be communicated here. And he says, look, he himself uses that yāvat Vaśyo bhavet svayam puṁsaḥ kṣaṇāt prayuktaḥ. Now you need to practice contemplation or here nididhyasanam that long until and unless one finds that everything is at the fingertips, because the mind must listen to my command, under my command. That's why it has to be in one's own command, Vaśyo iti. And if the Vaśyo doesn't, Vaśyo bhavet, now bhavet iti, if does not come under my command, that means what? Still I need to continue. And how should it to be? Yes, there are different methods, different tricks and techniques that we have discussed in our classes. Like, as you know, suppose if you do khechari mudra. So by doing khechari mudra, you cannot think of anything. It's very simple. So you make the mind under your control. Like there is a joke, so very nice happens, this Shakti path, okay? So they initiate, what they do? Press your Evañcākṛtrimānandaṁ. So one Swami was telling very nicely his experience, very elderly Swami. So when he was a child, so he went to one Shakti path place and they tried to press. And of course after that they have to talk experiential talk, okay? So then the person will ask, did you see? Because it's so painful. If you don't say that you did not see, that fellow will keep pressing, okay? It is better to say, I saw. And if you talk little more, you are better than making yourself fool in front of everybody and going through the pain, okay? So he also said, yes, I saw. And I am not telling jokes. This is what the all experiential talks happens. Then you make a book or you make a film, then after that you know what happens. And after one generation, so that person becomes, the founder becomes what? The God. And we are capable of doing that, don't worry. But here, what is being said very carefully? That experience gives Ananda, that is akṛtrimānandaṁ. And here we are not interested in experience. In fact, we are interested resolving the experiencer. Understanding or resolving. Why I use the word resolving? Because the experiencer always looks for different type of experiences. So by understanding the nature of experiencer, I resolve the experiencer in me. So I don't look for experience. I am not interested experience-based knowledge, because experience-based knowledge is only going to make me bitter. Remember, very carefully, experience-based knowledge is going to make me bitter. But it will not make me better. That I have to understand very carefully. Because whole people talk, oh, experience makes you perfect, experience gives you this, gives that. Yes, it makes you bitter. So here we highlight this aspect. Then what happens? Make sure that it should be prayuktaḥ bhavet svayam iti. So that means what? He says, look, in an instant, this should come to effect. That's why we say very carefully, you can see this concept we look at. When we go to the temple, what do we generally do? We work a lot, very nicely, especially if you go to Tirupati or Badrinath. You take all sort of pain, you go there, such a huge queue, from a distance you see. And it is being said also very carefully, if you get a chance to close your eyes, generally, the moment you see the God, your eyes get closed. Generally. Suppose if you don't get a chance, like Badrinath or Tirupati, because there is no chance, because all the way over, so you look at all your eyes. That's why it is being said culturally, when you go this sort of temple, don't come away just like that. In the campus, sit there, sit down, close your eyes, spend some time. So what you do? You recollect what you saw, to make sure that God is in you. Now, whenever somebody talks about Badrinath, when somebody talks about Tirupati, what happens? You close your eyes instantly and the deity comes. So that is called Devadarshanam iti. So how that happens instantly, that's why people they do it. Suppose you are so much stuck with money, because Tirupati you go there, to do the betting with him, okay? Because you have lot of shares, so you have given, so business transaction. So lot of business transaction you have done, so you are tired. Now Tirupati does not come, but Tirupati hundi comes to you, okay? Then what happens? You need to renew, okay? People go there renewal, okay? For different purpose. Good. That is their problem, not our problem. What I am highlighting here is, tat kṣaṇāt, at instant, if does not come, you are not able to recollect, it is better to go to see your deity. How culturally we practice. And that is how the instant was there, that especially your Kula Devata, which especially in Tamil Nadu. Why Kula Devata to be visited every year? Not for anything else. To make sure that whenever you close your eyes, Kula Devata should be, or Kula Devata should appear in front of your eyes. But you only go to Kula Devata not to understand, but to handle your sense of guilt. And of course, family people are there to add some more guilt in you, okay? You know better what they do, what they don't do. Let us not get into that subject matter. Here he says, look, same thing also, the Brahmakara Vritti must come spontaneously at any given moment, and that long to be practiced. Continuing. Tataḥ sādhana nirmuktaḥ siddho bhavati yogirāṭ tat svarūpaṁ na caikasya viṣayo manaso girām. Says, look, Tataḥ means then, thereafter, means when the person does this contemplation. Sādhana nirmuktaḥ. So the person becomes free from sādhana, free from practice. This is the beauty only in Vedantic culture. And that's why we say three things to be maintained: Vedanta, Guru Rishwaraha, Sevyam iti. To be respected, to be continued. What are they? These three: Vedanta, Guru, and Ishwara. Although in the beginning, in order to gain Jnanapta, in order to gain the knowledge, and after gaining the knowledge, still we have to continue. For what? To make sure that what? Krutagna nivrutartham. Not to become a krutagna means not to create any sort of aversion in me. So, not to become ungrateful. So, that's why here he says beautifully, sādhana nirmuktaḥ. We don't give up practice, but we become free from practice. So, there is a big difference. One need to become free from practice. But if you try to give up practice, it is not healthy at all. And how long you should practice? As long as you feel you should not practice. The moment mind says enough, that means it is not enough. It should get dropped, and naturally, spontaneously, it should what? Happen in life. Exactly like, this urvarukamiva bandhanāt. Satyambakam, okay, mantra we chant, that urvaruka. How this urvar gets freed from bandhanam. That cucumber family, one particular fruit is there. So in Tamil Nadu we call kiriniphalam, okay? It's actually kiriniphalam, not other things, not pushnikai. Don't translate it as pushnikai. So that kiriniphalam, how it gets freed by itself. So one fruit from cucumber family, okay? For other information sake. So it gets, when it gets matured, automatically it gets bursted and it becomes free from the creeper. So how that freedom happens? Same thing also, all practice, I should be free from all practice in that way. Now that person is called as yogirāṭ. So that means the person is the best or king among all the yogis. And that person is what he says, look very carefully, he says, is called a siddho, a siddha purusha, a accomplished person, you can use the word. Why? Because simple thing, he says, look, that person, tat svarūpaṁ na bhavati viṣayo manaso ca girām. Why he is accomplished person? Because of that person's true nature. Tat svarūpaṁ, the nature of, the true nature of that person never becomes na bhavati, what? Viṣayo, an object of mind and girām. Girām means speech. Because if I become, remember, the subject matter of my speech, or becomes another object of my thinking process, mind. That means that is not me. That's why the simple logic we have seen also in Panchadasi, that what I have and who am I. We have seen in details in Panchadasi, this concept. Who am I and what I have, there is a difference. Anything that is available for my mind, or it becomes object of my mind, or it becomes another word for my speech, that becomes another thing that I have. So me being subject, me being the experiencer, cannot become part of experience, cannot become another object of experience. And he says that person is an accomplished person, a siddho purusha, the one who understands that my nature, the truth, the reality about me is not the object of my mind or any speech. Continuing. So they are very carefully, already becoming time up. However, we'll see. 2 verses we'll take together. Samadhau kriyamane tu bindhyanyayanti vaivalat anusandhanarahityam alasyam bhogalalasam layastamasa vikshepah rasa swadasya shunyata evam yad vignavahulyam tyajyam brahma vidashanaihi. So this 2 verses talks about obstacles. So there are 8 obstacles will be talked in details. Because as you know, the moment you start something, only obstacle will appear. So he says, samadhu kriyamanetu, which you will see in details, that these are the vignaji. Vignani ayanti by balat, by force they will come, don't worry. And the first one I can tell, so that with this I will stop it. What is the first one? He says, anusandhana rahityam iti. So anusandhana rahityam means, we call as, the person always has got starting failure. And in India, we used to have this, this Chetak one scooter, okay? Very nice concept we had in India, okay? Olden days. Always we'll have starting problem. It's not necessary, it is whether summer, winter, or rainy season makes no difference. All season has got a starting problem. So what is to be done? That scooter you have to tilt it, okay? Then after tilting, you have to kick. Unless you tilt, that fellow will never start. So how that vehicle was having starting problem, now when you do this contemplation, nitidhyasanam, you have a starting problem. I can give you another example. We have gone through in our childhood, okay? Especially in winter. Winter we have to go to school. And generally we used to go to this lake or pond, whatever, to take bath, all the boys. So do you know what they will do? All will stand. Nobody will enter into the pond because it's cold, okay? So some of them also see and come back, okay? Change the dress, that's another level. So that entering into the pond is a problem. So what we call as starting problem. And that fellow who was not entering, somehow somebody pushes. And in cold, I am talking about, we used to swim, okay? No issue at all, because already you are drenched, so you have to survive there. What I am trying to say you here is, when you want to do nitidhyasana, always there is a starting problem. This is the first obstacle. Anusandhana rahityam iti. You don't feel like inquiring, no, it's enough today. Who is going to do? I can do it tomorrow. What is there to sit down? I am already Vedantin. Swami said whether you close eyes or open eyes, everything is one and same. Why to close the eyes? If I close the eyes, I will be full. In fact, I have got a back pain. I am already elderly person. My neck pain, my this, my that. You have hundreds of excuses. And I think best thing is I can do nitidhyasana while lying down in savasana. After all, it is also asana. So let me do this in savasana. You understand? And you have got lot of excuses. So he says that is the first obstacle comes, and he is going to give 8 types of obstacles, which we will see tomorrow. Om